Welcome to the John 3:16 Stories of Hope podcast, where we talk to people who have overcome addiction and alcoholism at John 3:16 Ministries. I'm your host, Lisa Fisher. Now let's hear another inspiring story from a resident or graduate of John 3:16 Ministries. Okay, everybody, we've got a new, I guess you're a resident because you've got all the beautiful John 3:16, I guess it's like your uniform, right?
Yes.
It's what you wear every day. Okay. Tell all the nice people listening what your name is.
I'm Harlan Chisholm. I'm 24 and I'm from Cabot, Arkansas.
Okay. Cabot, Arkansas. How long have you been at John 3:16 Ministries?
I've been at the ministry for about 7 months now.
So have you graduated?
I've not. No, I haven't.
Okay. Well, you kind of have a look on your face. You have to explain to those of us who haven't been there and been a resident. Some people, break the front doors down at 6 months. Some people wait a year. You're at 7 months. Tell me the decision-making process thus far.
Right. My 6 months kind of came up and I decided that it wasn't time yet. I'd already put it in my head kind of earlier on that I was going to stay longer than 6 months because I've been doing the bare minimum for a long time and this time was not going to be one of those times for me. So here I am.
How long have you battled addiction and or alcoholism?
I've been in addiction since I was 16.
Tell me your story.
Okay. In high school, I began to drink and just smoke weed. Those things that a lot of people do at a young age and think it's okay at the time. And that quickly spiraled into just a really rough lifestyle. The first time I ever drank was also the first time I ever tried cocaine.
Wow, that was a memorable night. I mean, go big or go home.
That's it. It was something, yeah. Since I got out of high school, I went to college, lasted about 6 months and didn't pass any classes, didn't finish anything, just drank
Partied.
and did drugs
partied.
every day.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And if you're 24, that was probably about 6 years ago. You started this journey at 16. So by 18, were you a full-blown alcoholic or addict?
Yeah. It got really bad at like 21. I was living out of state, didn't have family around, so I was kind of just relying on everything I knew, and that was drinking and doing drugs.
Where did you go to college?
I went to Arkansas State.
So that wasn't too far from Cabot to Jonesboro.
It's about an hour and a half.
Okay. Did your parents load up the minivan and come down there? Or I guess, yeah, you would.
Yeah.
And kick your butt, come up there and kick your butt?
No, I was decent at hiding what was going on. They were under the assumption that it was just light drinking on the weekends. And we just chalked it up to, that's what kids do.
Mhm.
But it got rough.
When did you start thinking, Harlan, I'm in trouble?
Really not until pretty much before I came here. Like right before I came here, I realized that everything I tried to get sober on my own, I've never been to any other rehabs or nothing like that. There's just a bunch of small instances where I would try to get sober on my own and last 2, 3, 4 weeks, and then just let it all crash down because I got proud of myself and pride comes before the fall.
Mm-hmm. Where were you in your Christian faith when you started drinking? Or did you have one?
I had none. I did not believe in God, Jesus, the Bible. I had no concept of a power higher than myself up
Mhm.
until I got here. I just knew that I wanted to try something different, and this was it for me.
Well, from going from 0 to 100 with Jesus, we don't hide the fact that John 3:16 Ministries John 3:16 Ministries is Jesus is the cure, right?
Absolutely.
Someone had to have texted you, taken your hand, sent you a note by carrier pigeon somehow to communicate with you that you needed something more than 12 steps. You need something more than a hospitalization. You needed Jesus. Who was that person?
So, my grandma and my mom, they're Christians. I just didn't want any part of it. Ran away from it every chance I got. It was as a kid, I went to church maybe like every Christmas, and that was it. But really, just for appearances. Outside of that, I wanted to do everything I wanted to do. But my mom was the one that said, "Hey, I know about this place, John 3:16." I also had a friend come through here in 2023, and I had knowledge of the place. It just didn't register in my head that that was something that I could ever be a part of until I got here.
So the friend goes through the program. Did you look at him like that Jesus freak? Man, you can just quit drinking, can't you?
Yeah. I didn't talk to him much after he left here because he had completely changed every part of his life, every aspect.
You had nothing in common anymore.
Right. We kind of grew up together. His older brother was a really good friend of mine in high school. In turn, he was like a year younger than us. So we all kind of hung out together and did what we do. And as soon as he left here, he joined the Marines and just really got his life back on track. So I kind of wanted a piece of that. And that's what I have now.
When you say piece, you meant PIECE, a token,
Yeah.
a slice. But
what kind of
you really
is a
got
2 for
peace,
1?
PEACE.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what I think Harlan people need to understand. There is no peace in life without Jesus, but especially for an addict, every day was fraught with anxiety, right? When you're drinking and drugging.
Yeah. And I will say, it's comforting knowing that Jesus not only offers us peace in the here and now, but for eternity. It's a beautiful thing.
Okay, so your mom and grandmom were praying for you. They tell you about it, but Brian Tuggle is real clear that the boy or the girl has to make the call. When did
Right.
you think things were dire enough that you were done? Had something happened? Do you have a criminal record? Was there an arrest? Did you wreck a car? Did you lose a marriage?
Yeah. I had a scary situation, a close call, a few nights before I came here, which didn't make me slow down, but it kind of made me think. I used to think all those situations were just dumb luck. Wow, like close one. How lucky am I? I know now that none of that was luck. I don't believe in luck. Those were a series of events to get me here. By the grace of God, that's the only way that I live now. But there was a situation a few nights before I came where I'd gotten in a pretty, I almost wrecked my car pretty bad. And I was lucid enough to realize that something had to change. It kind of was a spur of the moment thing. I didn't plan to come here until literally a day before I got here. I just knew that something had to change and it had to be quick or I was not going to be able to stop.
7 months hasn't been quick.
No. That's small to me comparatively to the way I lived. And, thank God that I didn't have to go through it for 10, 20, 25, 30 years. But, we have guys here that are that age as well. And thank God everyone's got a time. Mine just, by the grace of God, came a lot earlier than some.
So this is what always interests me is many people, because I was there for one of the church services in a Sunday, and so families are there, and then potential new residents are in the audience, right?
Right.
Part of the worship service. And I always wonder, you came to that service with no interest in Jesus, though, right?
Right. Yeah. I was standing in the very back, just like.
Were your arms folded and you were sour, or because you're not contrite yet at that point, are you? Because you're still in the throes of addiction, I would think.
Yeah, I was high during the
Right.
first service I came to.
I think everyone I've interviewed so far snorted their last line, smoked their last joint, because I know you can have tobacco there, did their last so-and-so on the way. But you're there thinking, I'm smarter than these people. They don't know that I'm high, right?
Well,
Or do they call you on it?
no one called me on it. It's just kind of an expectation sometimes. The prayer is that whoever it is, just doesn't desire to do it anymore after they come to the knowledge of Jesus.
That's
And
amazing.
and I didn't. Something that affected me a lot whenever I first got here. My interview was pretty straightforward. At the end
Are
of
they
it,
always with Brian? Is Brian that does the interview?
no.
Okay.
There's like a set group of instructors that conduct the interviews, and I can't even remember who interviewed me, but
Were you
um,
nervous?
yes, my mom was too. She was terrified that I wouldn't get in.
Oh, I'm a mother, and I'm telling you, I can't even imagine the. She prayed and prayed and prayed for you
Right.
and your grandmother. I mean, it was the prayers of the righteous man who healeth, availeth much, is what the Bible says.
Mm-hmm.
So you're scared. What are some of I haven't even asked. What are some of the questions they ask?
Just kind of ask you about the pretty much what brought you to the situation. And do you think if you didn't get in right now that you would die? That was
Oh,
something that weighed heavily on me. And then the last question, me not being a believer at that point, they asked, do you think that Jesus can heal you of this addiction? And I said something like, I don't know, but I
yeah.
hope so. And now I know that he is the great physician, for anything. It, it goes far beyond addiction, and I know that now. But that's something I didn't understand when I was in my interview. I just knew that I wanted to be sober. And
Okay.
after that, everything changed.
So you have a handshake because it costs you nothing to be a resident there. It baffles me every time I tell someone, in my community or my city about it. They're like, it's free? Yes, it's free. And I love that. So, your commitment though is your word that you're going to stay. What was your belief in Harlan that he could withstand? At first we're talking about 6 months. What did you think? Did you think you could do it?
The first week was kind of the make or break for me, but I knew after that, and seeing so many guys around me being such good examples, just seeing what Jesus was doing for other people, um, that's what I desired. And now, after being here for 7 months, I hope I can be that example to the next guy that just gets in and he wants to leave after 2 days, because that was me. Um, but but I knew that I wasn't going to get it in a week. So I kind of 3-4 weeks in, I knew for a fact that I was going to stay no matter what it took. I was going to obey the rules because that's a choice that we have to make. Is that, are you going to obey the rules? Are you going to do what it takes to, I heard it the other day, but are you going to stay here long enough to know for a fact that you're never going to drink or do drugs again? And now that I've been here for 7 months, I'm starting to think past that. It's less about drugs and alcohol and addiction and more, how can I be a servant? How can I further serve God? How can I glorify him? And like I said, that goes past addiction.
Mm. Well, let's talk about physically what happens those first few days, because I would say that would be um, a lot of people thinking the deal breaker, because physically and physiologically, detox is rough. Now, I know some people do have a choice of leaving there and going to a facility, right?
Right.
To detox. Did you have to make that choice?
I I'll be honest, I lied during my interview. I imagine a lot of people did.
Yeah, oh, of course.
But I was like,
They're
no,
high.
I was
You
like,
don't tell the truth when you're high?
yeah, I was like, I was afraid if I went to detox that I wouldn't actually make it to the ministry. I would kind of find a way to get out of it, to think I can do it on my own.
So
Because
do they ask you then about the detox option?
if you've like, as far as I know, if you've been drinking or drugging like really heavily on the days coming up to it and you've been relying on it for a very long time, then they're going to send you to detox. But I didn't go.
Looking back now, do you feel like you needed it?
No, I think looking back now, everything happened just the
That
way it was supposed
needed to
to.
happen. I understand. It's just that, did you get the DTs or any type of physical reaction that was difficult?
I was kind of a party drug guy, so I just couldn't really sleep for a few days. It was like 2-3 hours of sleep every night for the first 3 or 4 days, and then once I got some food in me, finally got some sleep, then everything turned out okay. And I've seen guys go through worse, and still make it here. So um, I thank God that wasn't me, and that a weekend I knew that I could do it. Not by my own strength by any means, because Harlan can't do anything. Uh, and I know that from years of experience. I can't do anything, but Jesus can.
When did you meet Jesus?
I would say 2 months in was whenever I really fell in love and decided that there was, I knew that there was nothing that I could personally do to, I hear often that everyone knows the day that they got saved.
Yeah, but
For
not
me,
everybody. Don't let Satan lie to you. Not everybody. It
no,
doesn't matter. You know in your heart who he is.
right. It was kind of I would just read the Bible, and something that helped me a lot was praying for understanding.
Mhm.
Just because I couldn't understand any of it. None of
Mhm.
it made sense to me. Not having, I knew like Sunday school stories
Mhm.
and stuff like that. I knew Jesus was
Zacchaeus, yeah, da 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 da
I
da
knew
da. Right.
Jesus was like a
Mhm.
guy in the Bible, but that
Uh-huh.
didn't come alive to
Yeah.
me until I started talking to a bunch of guys and
Mhm.
realizing that these people love me not because of anything I did, not because I'm just a great guy, but they love me because they love Jesus, and I was jealous. I wanted that, so I decided then that I was gonna learn everything I could and just try to imitate Jesus. That's yeah.
So you're 7 months in. When do you see yourself graduating?
Uh, I'm not gonna
Okay. You don't
give
want to
a
pin yourself down. All right.
you know
So it's just whatever the Holy Spirit, you feel like, talks to you and says, it's time. That's really a sweet part of your Christian walk is being malleable. You know, the potter's clay is who we are, and he forms us, and we're all in a process,
right.
So I think that's a really sweet thing. What vocational interest do you have after you leave the ministries?
I'm not picky. Just anything where I can serve in the same capacity that I do here. Something important to me is that has never been important to me before is being able to help other people. People just like me. I thought about maybe uh, doing this is a long way off, but doing like youth ministry, something
Awesome.
like that, just to because I I know what I was thinking at 18, 19, 20 years old. Um, so maybe that would make me more relatable to
Hmm.
people around that age. Because I remember in school, um, like the DARE programs and stuff, and
Yeah.
I was like, well, that's never going to be me.
Yeah.
Why would I listen to this guy?
Right. Right.
And it was just 2 months ago that I was at a school speaking to people about the dangers of drugs and alcohol. That's something that John 3:16 and God gave me the opportunity to do.
Awesome.
And that was an important experience for me. It was just, I don't know. I want to try to give young people like me some hope. Um, because I know how it can get.
Are you one of the youngest residents there?
No. We've got, I think the youngest guy is 19.
That's awesome. Think about what how he's protected his future. His name's recorded in the Lamb's Book of Life, but also the heartache, because years of abuse, of alcohol abuse and drug abuse, there's heartache to so many people involved. So I really admire someone 19 realizing that he had a problem. Well, the next time I see you, you might be a graduate, you might be an instructor, you might be hosting your own podcast.
Right. I don't want to put God in a box. Anything
Right.
can happen.
That's exactly right. Well, God bless you, brother, and you keep seeking him. He's a rewarder of those who seek him. He's a good father. Thank you so much for telling us about your relationship with him and John 3:16 Ministries. Good job tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us for the John 3:16 Stories of Hope podcast, highlighting the community at John 3:16 Ministries in Charlotte, Arkansas. Be sure to share the episode. If you need more information, hop on their website, john316thecure.com, or find them on social media.